Most business owners are great at what they do, but they struggle to talk about what they do in a way that makes sense. What I enjoy about it, especially working with words, is helping people gain clarity on what they really want to say.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the 88 Show. This is the internet's only dental show where we're talking about what matters most in marketing. I'm your host, Joshua Scott, and I'm sitting here with a very special guest. This is Mike Kim. Say hi.
What's up, everybody?
Guys, I'm really excited to introduce you, the dental world, to Mike and what he's doing. He's actually here for our annual meeting with our team. Mike is a copywriting personal brand marketer expert, and so that's why we brought him in to speak to our team. You probably weren't sitting in high school going, I want to be a copywriter, or maybe you were, but how did you jump into that?
No, I certainly wasn't.
Okay.
I wanted to draw comic books when I was a kid. I always joke with people that I'm like the Asian guy who doesn't do math well.
Yeah.
Right? And I had chose a career in writing and communication instead. It wasn't really until I discovered marketing that it all came together, because marketing was the perfect mix of creativity, writing, and organizational growth. And so I really, really enjoy that. And what I enjoy about it, especially working with words, is helping people gain clarity on what they really want to say. You know, most business owners are great at what they do, but they struggle to talk about what they do in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, I love that point. I was saying, because you're a really good speaker. I mean, you have a podcast. I know you're in the middle of writing a book, so it's got to be even bigger than copywriting. I mean, it's communication. Mm-hmm. Well, let's shift a little bit and talk about personal brands, because that's actually how I found you, was through your personal brand podcast. Thought it was brilliant. But in dentistry specifically, it's new, it's kind of up and coming. It's getting so much momentum. Talk to us about personal brands. What is it? What do you see?
Personal brand is just your reputation on steroids. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. We all do this. We say, oh, Henry is this way. Oh, Karen is that way. That's just who she is. In another life, I may have been someone who worked for the WWE and made pro wrestlers, because that's basically what it is. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and they're basically characters.
$1 Million Man.
And what they do there is, a wrestler comes into the office and they look at their personality or their past career, and they take one aspect and they magnify it by 100.
Yeah.
And magnify it by 100, and that becomes their brand.
Their person,
right? That's who their character or their avatar or whoever becomes. But you see those principles over and over again in the personal branding space, right? And so I love helping people find that, because what do we all want at the end of the day? We all want to do work that we love and truly believe in. You don't go through years and years and years of school just to make money. It's because you care about people. It's because you care about this industry. It's because you want to transform the industry. There's a lot underneath that is actually going to make all of your marketing easier and keep you in alignment with who you are.
I think in dentistry, what's interesting right now is we're kind of watching this really first wave of social media influencers kind of come around. And in dentistry right now, you got a lot of people going, hey, I could speak. I want to speak. I want to coach. I want to consult. I've owned and built multiple practices, so now people are looking at me as an expert. So I think that's kind of starting to drive this, okay, how do I make that known and get out there? When you talk to people like that, what advice do you give them on just kind of first steps of going down that road?
So the way that I look at it is that what they're really trying to do is move from expert status, like there's somebody who has a lot of expertise in this area, they've built multiple practices, or they've won certain awards, earned some accolades. But what they're really trying to do now is change the trajectory of their career. And they're trying to become either an influencer or a thought leader. Yeah. Right? And those are terms that we hear a lot. An expert who is someone who has a lot of authority, a lot of expertise. They may not be very well known as a communicator, as someone who is a purveyor of ideas. Yeah. They're known in their local community. They have several practices. They're known by their patients, but they're not known within their industry among their peers. Yeah. So as they move into that space, there are two things that need to happen. They need to grow an audience of their peers who look up to them, not just clients, not just customers, but not just patients, but their peers. And they need to have some sort of intellectual property that is unique to them. Yeah. So as they grow in their following, they become more of an influencer. We hear this word a lot now, right, with social media. I'm a social media influencer. And they have that following, but if you really, really want to elevate up above that, you need to have some sort of intellectual property that sets apart who you are and how you say and how you express things.
Yeah.
You don't get that by serving 200 more clients a year.
Right.
Because nobody knows that. It's the wrong audience. You're actually building a completely different business.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, this morning we spent some time on this kind of concept of big idea, story, solution. How did you come up with that?
It was just a lot of picking apart different frameworks and the way people thought and what I saw myself doing over and over again with folks. If you actually study the way keynote speeches are put together, that's really the TED Talk formula, if you really think about it. They've got a big idea they want to convince people of or present to the world, and they wrap it in a story because all of us as human beings, this is why we still watch movies. This is why we watch movies that are basically the same story as another movie we saw.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the how-to or the solution is what we do to teach people to live out that big idea. So, for example, one of the big ideas I have in marketing, and this may help some of you, is that marketing isn't about closing a sale. It's about opening a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an idea.
Yeah.
That has helped a lot of folks. And if I jump to the solution, how do I teach people how to do that? Well, I teach them through my podcast, I teach them through coaching programs, I help them through workshops, and so on and so forth. But if the message stops there and I don't have a story to contextualize that big idea, there's no content. The content needs context.
Yeah. Next 5 years, if you had the design perfect situation for Mike Kim, what does that look like?
I would just like to look back on my career and know that I put out into the world the things that I was carrying inside of me. You know, what is the thing that you need to do in your life so that you can look back on it with no regrets and have no regrets? And I was in a group where we actually threw that question around into the group. And I was the youngest guy in the group. It was this business coaching group. And all these people had these like amazing responses. I want to reach 1 million people with my message. I want to impact my family for generations to come. And it was my turn. I was like, I just want to travel the world. I felt like it was such a loser answer, right? And what I realized was that actually there were no wrong answers, and that everyone's answer was connected to one of three desires: to love, to connect, or to contribute. And that sounds a little, touchy-feely and, like whatever, but sappy, but it's true. Fortunately, I'm in a line of work that allows me to contribute by nature. And so are you. You're contributing to people's health and well-being, right? By nature. So I kind of checked that box simply because of the career that I'm in, right? And so I realized that my desire to travel around the world was to connect.
Okay.
I wanted to connect with other cultures. I wanted to connect with different places in the world. I really wanted to connect with the human experience worldwide. And so whatever that is for you, whether it's I want to grow my practice with better marketing and help people, or it's I want to step into thought leadership and I want to be an expert in this industry and speak and be asked to come and share my thoughts on these things, all of those desires are probably still connected to one of those three desires, right?
Yeah. No, I love that. Man, I really appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Really, I love your approach, and what you're doing is so important, I think, in the next even 10 to 20 years of helping, not only like you finding that, but helping other people find that, through their message. So if these guys want to learn more about you, what's the best place?
Well, you're tuning into a podcast now, so you might as well just jump over to my podcast. It's called Brand You. It's all about helping personal brands live their message, love their work, leave a mark on the world that they want to. Right now, my favorite social media channel is Instagram. It's just the most fun for me. And I'm a big believer in just doing what's fun. Because it removes a lot of the obstacles and hindrances. So you can find me there at Mike Kim TV, and that's my Instagram. And I talk a lot with people on there. So if you've got a question, just DM me.
You've always been really responsive on that, even before you knew who we were. And so appreciate that. Well, man, I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Guys, that's episode 120 in the books. Thanks so much for hanging out. Best place to find me is on Instagram at Joshua Scott. I will catch you on a next episode. See ya.
Yep.